And boy, do we have a couple of races for you now to finish off the morning session. It is the Grand Cambridge University. A lot of hype about this boat up against Hollandia Rowing Club from the Netherlands.
It's pedigree in both of these boats. Olympic champion Tom Ford just there, sat in the 6th seat of the Cambridge crew. It's also George Bourne, James Robson, involved in the GB setup over the last few years, navigating the trials this year, being really quick through the season as students at Cambridge. And it's also lovely to see a Cambridge or Oxford boat enter into the Grand, keep their project together after the boat races. Often what happens is they race the boat race and then they move on into international teams. So it's great to see Cambridge being able to put an 8 together, and a really quick 8 from what we hear. So it'll be interesting to see how they go against the crew from the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this event. It's only starting today. Later on this afternoon, we'll have Australia versus GB, which is a pretty tall order for any international boat coming to this regatta to be racing the Brits.
Attention. Go.
Patience from both crews there just to squeeze those first few strokes off the line as they start to wind up. When we raced 8s, we used to really be patient through strokes 1 to 6 or 7, and then really through 8, 9, 10 is where you start to wind as the boat starts to reach its peak speed and you start to move your hands with the speed of the boat.
Lots of noise and pushing off of those state boats, and Netherlands crew here, look, they've already taken 3-4 seats already in those first 20-30 strokes. Shows the class that they have. And it's really hard for Cambridge to be able to come back, but they've got to settle onto a nice rhythm, enjoy this spectacle, to be able to race against the crew from the Netherlands.
I love that. How cool are the Dutch? You look at Mick Macker in the stroke seat there. I think he's got a pair of Ray-Bans on.
Always incredibly cool. And it's also in the way that they row. They're very loose. I love the way he's rowing in that stroke seat there. He's getting his shins nice and vertical. He's just coming out over his rigger at the last possible moment. Minimal body movement. But yeah, nice set of aviators in the stroke seat.
And here we have the Cambridge crew. 3 national team crews in this event, 1 university crew.
They're staying on, they're staying there. Let's not let the boat come out too much. It's about 2/3 of a length here. Cambridge crew will start to settle into their race rhythm. And can they stay in touch with the crew from the Netherlands?
I mean, one thing that stands out about the Dutch crews always for both the men and the women is they have so many tall athletes, although standing next to you, Mo, so height is certainly something you're familiar with, but the Dutch crews so tall, and because of their length, they really don't have to overstretch in the stroke. In fact, that would put them in, you know, a really compromised position to be really overreaching. So they're very upright typically, but still with incredible length and connection and that signature looseness that we're used to seeing in the Dutch boats.
It's true. From stroke to bow, they're all physically tall. They're all. Obviously it's a trait. They're a very tall nation in itself, the Dutch. But you often see a mixture of that within the GB, Aussie boats. You may get some really tall people sat in the middle, and you may get some of the shorter, more skillful people sat at either end of the boats. But with the Dutch, they're all tall, so they all have to be skillful and they all have to be powerful.
Yeah, we got a great shot of that when both crews just went past us then. You could see the Cambridge guys, a couple of shorter guys, really reaching out for that length, whereas almost all of the Dutch 8 very upright through the back end, really just letting their hands run over their knees and not having to overstretch for that length through the front end. And it just means they can be super efficient, super relaxed, and there's really no overworking for any of that length as we've described.
Cambridge crew are really taking it to the crew from the Netherlands here. They're not giving up, they're not letting up, and I think they're getting a little bit of reward. From this angle, it's really hard to see, but it doesn't look like it's more than half a boat length at the moment.
Yeah, we see a little look come across there from Luca Ferraro, 23 years of age, in the 5 seat. they'll see that they've still got contact with this crew from the Netherlands, with the Dutch national crew. Can they start to work back through here? They still have overlap. There's overlap of the stern canvas of the Dutch with the bow canvas of Cambridge. But it's going to come down to this section of the race. Do Cambridge have another gear? Will the Dutch hold them off?
You can see the pain face there on the bow seat. Simon Hatcher is really digging deep to stay here in connection. He's the one that can see the crew at the moment still in his periphery. He's got to relay that information back, say that they're moving, say that they're actually making an impact on the crew to the left of them, as they can see, because the stern pair or stern four will not be able to see any part of that yellow Dutch boat.
And Cambridge make a move. They've made a move here as they come past Remenham. They've now got at least a couple of seats on the Dutch. Here come Cambridge. They're going to have to put it all in now if they want to get themselves up into this race and into the final of the Grand Challenge Cup.
It's really important that Jonna de Vries, ex-Molesey Cox, now coxing at the Hollandia Rowing Club in the Netherlands, representing her nation, to read that move and actually respond. And I don't think the Dutch crew are responding yet from this angle. Maybe they're holding back, maybe they're waiting for their race plan to kick in, but they need to start moving up because Cambridge are rapidly closing in on them.
And I think we can hear the umpire correcting someone steering here. Yes, that's Matt Pinson. He's got his flag up for the Dutch. That's going to knock them off here at a really crucial time. Cambridge will know that. They'll look to attack Oliver Boyne, the coxswain, 27 years of age. Won the Icy Goldie race in 21. 23 was the CUBC men's president. 23 won the head of the Charles Men's Championship 8. And 24 won the men's boat race. And in 25 rather. So he's got the experience. He can see Hollandia. They're starting to respond. Do Cambridge have another gear? I think they might have given their big shot there at Remenham, but I think that the Dutch have been able to respond, Mo.
Yeah, Cambridge are really hurting, they're suffering, there's not much more to give, and that's the luxury of having a fantastic start in the 8. Even though they put so much pressure on the crew from the Netherlands, they're able to respond with one lift. It's not over, but it does look like it's going to go towards the Netherlands in this race.
Listen to the crowd. Whenever the Grand comes down the track, the crowd stops and they cheer no matter what's going on. The Dutch still with an edge over Cambridge. The crowd's going wild as they're coming past the grandstand.
Blades are starting to go high in the sky from both crews. It shows there's fatigue, it shows there's tiredness, and that causes a little bit of risk if somebody's going to catch a crab or not.
They're driving down to the line. As they come across the line, it will be just the Dutch. What a race here from Cambridge to hold it to a national team crew like they did. Amazing performance from the School 8, but they won't be able to take the Dutch on this occasion in the Grand Challenge Cup.
Phenomenal effort, really impressive, but also well measured by the Dutch crew.
That was an incredible last few hundred metres there, Mo. I thought, oh my gosh, do Cambridge have something in the bag here? Are they going to shock the national team from the Netherlands?